Afternoon to all of you and Mr. Ankush Tanwar. We have today a session on the topic of sales and travel and tourism. So please, Ankush, first of all, you have to introduce yourself, where you are working and how much your experience you have, and start your session.
Hello, everybody. Wish you all a very, very good afternoon. So my name is Ankush Tanwar, and I'm a hotel management graduate like you all. I've done my graduation in hotel management in 2011, and it's been a journey of more than 10 years now. I'm heading sales and marketing of one of the Taj Hotel in Haridwar, based out of Delhi, and working for the Taj. As you all know, what Taj is all about. It's one of the it's the biggest and the most luxurious hotel chain in South Asia. Um, Mr. Gautam, anything else you want me to tell? Any question, answers?
Just start your session. Between the session, yeah, after the complete the session, we'll ask the questions.
So I have a very small presentation for you all, and I want to tell you, like, I want to ask you all, first of all, technology in these times. I'm sorry that we are not interacting with each other. So, the travel, what is travel for you all? What the travel business for you all? So, the travel business is the bigger and the vast version of our hospitality industry. So, under the travel, as they say, travel is the best teacher in the world.
Yes, yes, yes.
So travel, if you travel, you learn a lot. Maybe you are studying in a college, or maybe you're studying in a hotel management is premium college or a school or whatever. But when you travel, the learning and and your knowledge takes you to a different level altogether. So the travel business is again a very interesting and a very a business for the people those who are very passionate about travel. So there are two kind of travelers in this world. First are the tourists. So tourists are somebody who just go and visit the place just to tick mark on their passports and just want to tick mark on their bucket list. Travelers in the world, they enjoy, they travel, like, so there are different kind of travelers as well, who go and explore the places, who want to know about the destination, who want to know about the culture, who wants to know about the history of that place. That's what traveler is all about. And in that also there are travelers which we call the backpackers, who just pack their bag and just go out in the countries or the places or the destinations. Then it comes to your luxury travelers. So the travel business is, which includes your airlines, which includes your hotels, which includes your tourist guides, which includes your transportation, which includes everything. So that's what I said in the initial, when I started this conversation, that travel is the vast and the bigger version of our hospitality industry. Under the travel, it comes it all. So now the question comes: how many types of travelers we have in the country to run the travel business to the and you all know that travel business has a great amount of share to run the economy of our country. So there are two kind of travelers. One is the domestic travel business. One is the domestic travel business. Domestic travel business is what? When the Indian or maybe the nationality of that particular country travel within the country. For example, You are traveling from here to Goa, or maybe Bombay, or maybe Kolkata, or maybe any other destination. That is called as a domestic travel. The Indians traveling within the same country. Then here comes the inbound business, the inbound travelers. The inbound travelers are the foreigners, those who are coming from outside to your country. So there are two kind of travelers, two kind of travel business which the country caters. And our country, like if I talk about the inbound business, our country was very much dependent on the inbound business, which is a great thing because like the people those who are coming from outside, they spend money in dollars and pounds and whichever currency uh, they get from their own respective countries. So the inbound business, the country was very much dependent on that, and then COVID happens. Then COVID happened in 2009, started in 2019 in China. I was in China that time when it happened. Like I was in October in China, and it broke down to the world in December. So it reaches to India in March 2020 maybe. When the COVID happened, everything got standstill. The travel business, the travel industry, our industry, hotel industry, the airlines, transport business. So as a whole, if I say the travel industry got the biggest hit, people lost their jobs left, right, and center. The companies did not have money to pay the salaries. There was the pay cuts which were happening that point in time. It was a very sad situation for the travel people, those who are working into the travel industry, hospitality industry, and directly or indirectly. So there was approximately 9 crore people, those who are associated with this industry. When COVID happened, the inbound business was totally like a zilch, zero. There was no transactions happening. Then what happened is, then people got shifted their focus. The domestic business was always there, but it was not considered as the cream business. Then all the borders got shut in all the countries put an advisory on each other countries. Like India also put some advisory: don't go China, don't go to this place, don't go to that place. And also, in the second uh, uh, wave, like a lot of countries in the world, America, they put a advisory on India. India is not a safe place to travel. And all these Americans and the English people and the Aussies, uh, they travel with the travel insurance. Even the Indians do, but they are very much dependent on that. So if an advisory is there that please do not go to India, then, and if you still come, then your insurance company is not liable to give you any penny. Then the shift happened, and the focus shifted on the domestic business, the domestic travelers. So let's cater them, so there are a lot of promotion happened, apna hi desh dekhte hain. A lot of uh, all the companies, all the travel companies, and and the business boomed like anything. All the destination started picking up, and it started with Goa, then it shifted to Uttarakhand, and all the destinations started getting full. So, and the eras was coming back, like the average room rate, you all must be aware about it.
Yes, yes.
So the average room rate of the hotels was going down day by day because there was no occupancy and hotels has to run. The salaries has to pay, electricity pay, bills has to pay. So the air hours start getting up, and the positivity started getting in. And now the situation is a lot of people, a lot of industry colleagues, they are very very much dependent on the domestic business now. Not that the inbound is not there. Even the when the inbound traveler business starts, the focus, the hotels and the travel industry and the travel agencies, they will not, they cannot neglect this segment now. And of course, then borders are getting open. The people, those who are spending money in India, those who have deep pockets, they will start going out as well. And then there will be a switch over in the business. Then the inbound business will take over the domestic business, and the percentage of the domestic travel will go down. So that was the COVID era, and as they say, desperate times calls for desperate measures. So this desperation of business, this desperation of surviving, got the domestic travel into a bigger frame, into a bigger picture. That's what happened. And so travel business pre and the post pandemic. So you can see a man standing in a leisure attire with the backpack, with the hat on him. So then, and you can see instead of a sun between the mountains, there is a COVID, a symbol, I would say. So the travel business pre and the post COVID, and I do not, I'm not still very sure like whether we should call this as a post pandemic era. But now the things are started getting open. All the governments are starting lifting all the COVID protocols. So the pre-COVID era, which was before March 2020, more of, the eras was getting higher, and things were in a different shape altogether. As I mentioned in my previous slide, that more dependency was there on the inbound segment. So right now we are talking only about India, and we are only talking about India. Then then we come on the hotel side. The hotel business. After this COVID situation, when it got into control, uh, and business started coming in, all your leisure destination, maybe all, just name it, maybe in Chennai, maybe in South, or Goa, or maybe your Darjeeling, or maybe Uttarakhand, or maybe Himachal Pradesh, all started getting picked up like this. Then the challenge came for the city hotels, the hotels which is there in Delhi, Bombay, Kolkata, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, because these hotels, these destinations works primarily on the corporate segment. Leisure business is there. It's nobody can deny that. And of course, Delhi, it is the capital. A lot of, and even Kolkata, Bombay, it has a leisure business as well. However, there is a corporate movement. All the delegation movements, that was not happening. And the hotels with the room inventory of 500 rooms or 400 rooms, doing an occupancy of 20% or 30%, it was a nightmare for the hotel industry. Then situation changed, everything is back. We are very much into the industry, and we We are witnessing that all the hotels, be it a city hotel or be it a leisure destination hotel, the hotels are doing fine now. So I want to tell all these students today, be with the industry, stick to it, because this industry teaches you a lot. I'm not giving you any gyan on that, and I'm no one to give you a gyan. The thing is, इस इंडस्ट्री ने बहुत सारे अप डाउन्स देख लिए हैं. अगर इंडिया का चाइना के साथ प्रॉब्लम होता है तो सबसे पहले ट्रैवल बिजनेस कैंसिल होता है. If there is a problem of India with the Pakistan, then there is a, the travel, because this is not a necessity. Our business is not a necessity. It is not roti kapda or makan. From without that you can survive. So we as a professionals, we have to make it a necessity for people, because for people, the travelers, for the, you know for the adventure people, travel is a necessity. And we have seen those surge just after the COVID got under control, and we all have seen that surge in the business. So, as I touched base on this particular point just now, the career in the travel industry. So, the career in the travel industry, if you can see that globe and there's a guy standing in a suit and tie, right? And you can see a globe with the airplane, with all the destinations: Dubai, Egypt, Paris, Eiffel Tower, then London, you know, and then the hotels and the resorts and the cruise, transport. So this industry offers you the most number of chances to grow in your career. This is an amazing what do you call it, great opportunity for all the professionals to be associated and grow your career in this, because this industry groom you well. It teaches you how to groom yourself, how to dress, how to address. So this is the only industry which tells you, which teaches you the eating manners, and how to interact, how to start your conversations. So learn as much as you can, read as much as you can, because more knowledge you will have, the more interaction, the more interactive you will be. For example, if you are at the front office of the hotel and somebody comes, then like, if you are not and somebody comes, then and you are not, you do not have a content to talk about, then who will have a long lasting conversation with you all? So learn, read about the destination, travel if you can, travel as much as if you can. So when you travel, you understand the sometimes the different languages, different culture, and and that's how you use those travel learning into your day-to-day things. So I had a very small presentation for you all. It's because I want to talk about more, what is more relevant for you all. Be passionate. Be passionate about this industry. Learn as much as you can. Read, travel. So, Mr. Gautam, anything of any Q&A session which you want to do? You are not audible.
Okay, Mr. Ankush, will you please elaborate one more thing? What are the impacts nowadays in domestic and international uh, client, how to face it and how to resolve all the things.
So the domestic travel has already been resolved.
Okay.
The hotels are seeing the maximum surge. The business is back to normal. People are traveling. People wants to travel. Like it's enough and enough for people to sit at home now. They want to travel. They want to explore now. They want to get out from their houses and just want to be in a good resort or a good hotel to relax. Then comes your inbound business, the foreigners who travels to India. Now the queries started coming in.
Okay.
The DMCs, what you call it, domestic management companies, like all the big ones. I will not name it. So they have started approaching the hotels for the business now, starting from October 2022. So things are coming back to normal. There is no need to worry on anybody, any student, those who are listening our webinar today. No need to worry. The things are back. Of course, 2 years were really bad for our industry, but the industry evolved with that. A lot of our industry colleagues learned a lot from that.
Right.
So no need to worry. Anyone, any professional, those who are going to start your career in another 1 year or 2 years time after clearing your college, so no need to worry. It's a beautiful industry to work with. It is an amazing industry to learn more, grow more, and earn more.
Okay. And also just how to affect on your sales also, how to manage the things after the COVID and before the COVID also, how to manage the sales and how to affect on your sales of a business.
So it affected badly. If I talk about that, sales is one part, Mr. Gautam. People did not have a job. It was a very, very difficult situation because there was no sales, no money, no salaries.
Exactly.
So the sales started coming in at a very later stage, and it came with the bang. People were not expecting this kind of ARRs, this kind of rev parts, this kind of rev ports so instantly, so quickly. So things are back to normal. ARRs are back, or maybe some of the hotels are doing better ARR than they were doing in 2019 before COVID. So the sales affected badly, and sales affected badly because that is one, because then there is no revenue, no salaries, no salaries, no employees, no jobs. But now things are back, and our industry, the people in our industry, the associations in our industry, they worked really hard to get things back on track.
And one more, we have nowadays they are also war is going on in Russia and with Ukraine also. So they are also impact are coming on the travel and sales business.
Of course, as I said, Mr. Gautam, we are in a business. Every small thing can impact our business because we are not a necessity. Nobody will travel on the cost of their life.
Okay.
Nobody. Maybe it's a war, maybe it's a pandemic. So there is a talks going on this particular topic, and this must have to get end. Like it's been almost a month. The war is on, and if the other country get involved in it, then maybe it will impact further to our business.
Yes, again and again, and there is a
Because
chance.
if you see, there is one there. I'm sharing an instance with you. There is a friend of mine who came from Canada last night only. So his flight took almost 26 hours, he mentioned, to reach to Delhi, because they are because of this Russia and Ukraine war. The routing has been disturbed.
And just how to, will you please elaborate more about the sales and travel trade business? How it's we clarify by in your words?
So travel business and the sales, it's a very hand in hand thing. It's a very, or maybe I would say, hand in gloves. So if I elaborate more on the travel part, as I have already, which I already did,
Okay.
the travel business includes everything. You know, a person who is coming from America to India, it starts from a taxi right from his door. So the travel business starts from there, from that taxi. It started already. Then he board a flight, then he reaches the airport of that respect of that particular country, and then he take another transport, pay the visa fee, and and then he checked into the hotel, then he pays to the travel guide, and so you can imagine how many people are associated with it, how many कितने लोगों का घर चल रहा है उससे, the transport wala and that tour guide, and then he's paying the fee to the government of India, the visa fee, and then he's checking into the hotel, and in a particular hotel there are 500 people working, and then again he's taking internal flights, internal transports, internal train, and so on and so forth. So it tells it all, like the travel business is something which is a lot of people, a lot of, and the vendors in the hotel, a sabzi wala who is supplying the meat, supplying a liquor, and supplying a vegetable in the hotel, a fruit in the hotel, linen in the hotel, so all are associated with it. It's not about a person who is doing a linen ka kaam is not a hotelier, somehow he's associated with it. His business is his business is running with that.
Okay. Just Ankush, what are the career opportunity for the new upcoming students? They are looking in sales. They want to come, and just tell me, in sales and marketing, they can go in which department to approach his or her career.
See, first of all, that individual needs to make up their mind. And it happened to me also. When I was clearing my college, I was not sure that which department I want to join. So sometimes things comes, you know. However, we should not wait for the things to happen. We are there to implement the things with our proactive approach. So when we say the career progressions in our industry, hotels, the first and foremost thing comes to the mind, because I am doing a hotel management. I can work in a hotel only. Of course, I'm working in a hotel. I'm very happy. Whatever I have today, this is just because of this industry. So hotels is one part, cruise lines are one part. Like these, I think this must be there in the books of the students also. And then your corporates, because a lot of corporates these days, or maybe companies like Microsoft or Adobe, no, all the biggies, I don't want to name it again. So all the big companies, they also have the admin departments, and for the admin departments, they always try and fetch people from a hospitality industry. A lot of my friends are working in a corporates. The corporate is one thing, and then your and then and then you hotel part, and then you join a travel company. There are big travel companies where you can start your career with. You learn to make itineraries there. For example, a person who's coming from England to India. So travel company is the one we call it a DMC, domestic management company. So DMC, that is DMC's role to give an itinerary to a foreign tour operator in that respectful country, in that respected country, and then he's that FTO is dealing with the traveler. So then making an itinerary, finding a hotel in that region, finding a tour guide in that region, transport, sightseeing, and your restaurants, local walks, food walks. You know, this all needs the people from our industry only. Like you can grow your career in travel companies, you can go to hotels. In hotels also you need to define yourself, whether which department you want to go in, whether you want to be in sales, whether you want to be in the core departments, whether you want to be in cruise line business. So it depends, and the opportunities are immense. There is no dearth of opportunities if you are willing to work. If there is a will, there is a way, as they say. So if there is a will, absolutely there is no dearth of work, and you have to start from somewhere. A lot of people say, I need this X salary to start my career. Of course, aspirations has to be there, and it's a good thing. It's a very very good thing if you have an aspiration that you want to reach an X salary, but you have to start from somewhere. If you're not even starting by thinking, like the job will come to me and then I will start at this particular salary, then maybe it would be an awkward situation 1 year down the line, when once you're passed out and you're not working. You need to make up your mind, like, okay. And एक कहावत है, अगर आपने एक कदम चल लिया तो आपका आधा सफर तय हो गया. If you have taken a one step towards your career, half of the journeys are already been covered. Take that first step.
And
Go
what are
for
the guideline and what are the things students have to prepare if he want to he want to see in career in sales and marketing, yeah, sales and travels. So there are
So sales, for that, the sales is a department where you interact with people. You talk more. You talk more. For if you talk more, you have to have a content with you.
and one more, yeah, how to sales is impart in the hotel to run a hotel business also, how it is manage the things,
So
sales.
you okay? So if I rephrase your question, Mr. Gautam, it's like the sales is empowered to take the business decisions of
Business
the hotel.
decision to run the property and
Of
hotels and
course, because
hospitality also.
that empowerment was always there, and the empowerment will always be there with them, and it has to be with them, because they foresee the situation, they see the forecast, and they take decision for to in order to offer any rate, or in order to pick up any business. So of course, though, and like I think we should talk about how people can get into the industry fast, and the department which they choose. For if you want to go into the sales, guys, then you please work in operations first. You should know your product. If you're selling, for example, if I'm a salesperson of the hotel, if I'm selling something and
That's
I
why.
do
That's why I interrupt you. That's why I want to know the what are the department they can choose to grow
any
a career
department, any
in the
department.
sales and marketing.
Before
And
sales, I'm saying before sales, because sales is something when you go out in the market and you're dealing with people, and you're committing something which cannot be delivered, then it backfired. It spoiled the image of the brand, of the hotel, and of course the salesperson who is going out and committing something. So before you go and before you make up your mind that you want to be in sales, first work in operations, work in F&B, at least for a year or two. Work in front office department. Then you will have a then you will have an idea. Okay, so this is what we do. Because जो आप लोग पढ़ेंगे स्कूल में अभी कॉलेज में वो बहुत अलग होगा रियल वर्ल्ड से. It is completely different because when we I could be wrong, but no guest asks you the 11 course menu. I'm sorry, but the real world is that only. How agile you are, how flexible you are, how what is your attitude in the industry, what is your communication skills, what is your dressing sense, how good you are smelling, what you know. So all these things come into the picture, and how respectful you are for your colleagues and your of course everybody is respectful for the guest, but how respectful you are for your own colleagues as well.
Etiquettes, that is the etiquettes. What are the etiquettes you have? You just present in the guest, the present of the guest, how to present your etiquettes. That is a main thing. Students have learned the etiquettes.
Of course, and the attitude etiquettes तो of course वो सीख जाएंगे जब होटल में जाएंगे, उनको सिखा दिया जाएगा अपने आप. नहीं भी सीखना चाहेंगे तो बट फर्स्ट इज द एटीट्यूड पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड टू लर्न. अगर आप सीखना ही नहीं चाहेंगे तो कोई नहीं सिखा सकता.
This is okay. Just what now in your point of view, what are the changes you are seeing in sales and travels before and after the COVID?
हाँ, I would like before pandemic, it was a completely different scenario. Because the hotels and the travel industry was more dependent on the inbound segment. And I'm talking about only the travel business right now because this is one of the segment for the hotels. Then there are MICE segment. Then is a because MICE is your meetings, incentives, conferences, and events. So the weddings was not happening. There was कि 50 लोगों की शादी होगी या 100 लोगों की शादी होगी, and a big hotel which has a 500 room and a banqueting space of uh, maybe 20,000 square feet. How will that hotel survive? That hotel cannot survive on a wedding capacity of 50 people. So that was not happening. But it was, and now things are getting open. Mike's business is coming back. Events are happening, meetings are happening. Corporates wants to do their AGMs now. Travel business started, inbound business started coming in with the queries that have started coming in, and there is a uh, you know this surge, the business surge, which it was not nobody was expecting that much. So after COVID, people have witnessed it.
Okay, and how to the things to increase the ARR? What are the things you are doing to increase your ARR?
So increase your
What kind of
ARR goes up. It is all
yes,
demand and supply. It is all demand and supply, to be honest. If there is a demand, if there is a demand and you have a limited inventory, of course your price will go up. The moment your price go up, your ARR improves. So so when there is a demand, of course the ARR goes up, and when the demand dips, the ARR goes down. And the like it's a very revenue management centric thing because there is a department in our hotels. It's a very good thing, particular topic which we have just touched upon. So there is one more department apart from sales is revenue management, and revenue management and sales they work hand in hand. Sales cannot survive without revenue management because right now, and revenue management handles all your online travel agent, your Make My Trip, your Expedia, your Yatra.com, Prestigia, Agoda, and whatnot. And your 50% business is from online travel agents. Salesperson can go and meet the offline travel agent. online travel agent, there is a system to it. There is a software to it, which integrates, we call it a distribution, which distribute your inventory to the world, and your business start coming in into that funnel. It flows automatically. So that is the role of the revenue management, and revenue management plays a very vital role in the in any hotel.
And just share your experience also. What are you seeing nowadays? There are, after the COVID, the hotels are opening now. What are you think about that the business of hotels?
Yeah, hotels are opening left, right, and center because I've just heard, like, all the international brands, they have a very concrete plan to open one five-star hotel every month. That is one company I'm talking about, and there are so many companies those who have entered in India now in this market. So the hotels are getting open. It's that we need to be ready, we need to be agile, we need to be flexible sometime. There will be ample opportunities those who are which will going to come, and India is growing, the economy is growing, barring that this COVID period. The India is actually, a lot of people are looking uh, to invest in India right now, maybe. And our business grows when the other industry grows. It's a very our business is completely different, because for example, if a X company is growing in India, that impact will come to the hotel, because they will do all their AGMs in the hotel. The people will come and stay in the hotels. They will take all the transport, they will take the flights, so all the things comes into picture. See, when other industries grows, we also grow.
Just tell me one more is that is how to getting your trainees. And some parents, some families also very is worried about that after the COVID, there is a nobody want to send the trainees to the hotels. So what are you making a guidelines to save the students and all the things?
You go for a training, because if you will not go for a training, you will not be trained, and if you will not be trained, you will not get a job. You will not get a job. You will be,
Exactly. Everybody just if you have trained well, you can get easily a job.
and that is the best part in our industry. We are the only industry which gives the on-job training experience.
Okay. OGT programs you have to attend the student also.
Yeah, and maybe the management, what do you call it, industrial training, because we are the only we are the only course, which sent out students out directly into the hotel to take the first hand experience. Of course, there is no all the hotels are taking all the precautions. They are checking their RT-PCR. They are checking their RT-PCR test report, and their COVID vaccination report, and their when they enter, the temperature check is happening, and then there is sanitization, which is a very important part of the hotel business now. All are happening. So I don't see any reason people will say no to any training. Please go. Not the hotels are absolutely fine and full to learn now.
And on the last, just I'll just wind up the session. Just what you want to give the message to our students. So then we'll wind up the session. Just give me a message.
There is only I have mentioned a couple of times in my session. Just be ready, and this industry has a lot to offer. Be at it. Stick with the industry. Learn more. Then only you can earn more. It is as simple as that. If you not learn, then of course the earning part would also. So just be passionate what you do. That's all. वो सब लोग बोलते हैं पैशनेट रहो, क्रिकेट खेलना है तो पैशनेट रहो, वो बोलते हैं। बट ये बात बोलने की नहीं है सिर्फ, ये एक्चुअली बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है। इफ यू आर नॉट पैशनेट, यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू डिलीवर, and if you'll not be able to deliver, you will not be seen as a person who can grow that company, give a promotion to. So be passionate, be humble, be respectful, read more, travel more if you can, if possible. Travel is the best teacher in the world, I'm telling you all.
Okay. Okay, it's Ankush. Thank you so much. It's a nice session for our student also, as well as nice meeting you. And
Thank
you
you,
have
thank you so
given
much.
precious time in this.
Mr. Gautam, everybody, Mr. Gautam is was my faculty. Is my yeah, he was my teacher when I was in college. And thank you. You have given me this opportunity to come on the stage and tell people, the students, the future of our industry. What exactly happening in the industry right now.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Ankush. You give me a respect for that. I am very अच्छा लगता है. I like you are here and on the head of the sales in IHQC, no?
Selections,
Yes,
yes.
yes, selections. So thank you so much. Nice meeting with you, and we'll meet again once. Okay. Thank you so much, Ankush.
Thank you so much.
Okay.